To defeat an enemy, you must know them. Not just their battle tactics, but their history, philosophy, art. Welcome to the Chiss Ascendancy podcast.
Wow. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to
The Chiss Ascendancy.
Yes. Hey, if you're listening via audio only, you might hear a familiar voice. That's because we got Samuel on the track.
Yeah, boy.
So all three of us are in this Zoom call. Man, this
Hold on, wait, I've got something for this.
Oh, sick. Okay.
Nice.
So Samuel's out there with his Star Wars sound effects board just ready to fire.
I've got 3 that I've actually downloaded. I just airdropped them to my phone and played them in the microphone.
Sick.
It is super jank.
That's okay. We're figuring it out. That's part of the process. Hey, we're figuring out 1,000 ways not to make a light bulb or a podcast. So we're making it through. But we want to stay consistent, and it's better. It's more about putting out content, and it's the content that we're putting out is still, I think, fun stuff. So the quality will get there, but the content is still coming out. So
Good thing.
huh?
That's a good thing.
Hey, there are people counting on that.
The people demand.
Yeah.
All 12 of them.
Yeah, there's going to be at least 7 views on this tomorrow, guarantee it. So we wanted to kind of catch up and touch base with Samuel and see how is life up in the great beyond in Oklahoma. Is that a picture of Oklahoma behind you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. To scale and everything.
To scale. Right.
That's so funny.
Yeah. No, things have been great. I've been super freaking busy. But it's all watch in language. It's been a lot of fun. There's just a lot to learn, a lot to do. But I get to do stuff like today. I was playing volleyball with a group that I played with when I was in college. So
That's cool.
yeah, that's stuff that I didn't get to do all the time. So a lot of challenge, a lot to learn.
I know Samuel was really busy because the other day he sent me a video of he had bought some new supplies for youth group, and he had to make sure that the kickballs or dodgeballs were up to snuff, so he was testing out the dodgeballs.
So we had a meeting. We have a weekly planning meeting every week, and they were talking about like when we do new stuff, we want to test it out beforehand to make sure that we're not just like figuring it out on the fly. And I was like, well, we better test out this dodgeball for quality control. So, or we bought a new kickball, and so I made a Jackie Moon free throw shot.
Nice.
With a kickball first try.
Nice.
I have it on security camera footage. So I was like, I'm sending it to everybody.
Pulled the security footage.
I logged in and I pulled the security footage from 2 angles because I was like, they have to see it, because I made it one time before in my life and nobody was there, so nobody believed me.
Sick.
Nice.
Well,
so I've got a witness and video footage.
Yeah, it's been very busy for each of us, and so we've got some up and coming stuff as far as figuring out videography things, and so this was kind of our other stuff kind of starting to fall through. So this was our last resort to have Zoom, but hey, if Zoom solves COVID, then it can get us through this week's podcast.
I know that's.
What do y'all think about that new strain? That new D strain or whatever?
I don't know, man. We're all gonna die eventually.
I hope that this is the strain that causes the zombie apocalypse. Honestly,
sick.
Because I got enough.
You got enough ammo?
I got enough ammo and weapons to take care of at least my neighborhood. So
I have enough ammo at my house to do that really sad ending to The Mist, where the guy kills everyone in the car and then himself.
I remember you guys made me watch that movie in high school, and I was like, and that's how it ends. I was so upset.
So I guess today is going to be a little bit of a different episode because typically we do a weekly review of new stuff. But I guess we're going to let a few things add up a little bit and kind of see where things go. And
Full disclosure, it's my fault, guys. I haven't watched Bad Batch, and I haven't read the new comic, and I haven't finished the book. It's my fault. All right. So we're gonna talk about stupid stuff because I'm dumb.
Hey, we didn't want to put that on you, bro. So
It's me. I'll own it. I'll own it.
fair enough. Fair enough.
Where's the pointy hat? I'll wear it and I'll sit in the corner. I'll look through the slit of the box of shame.
We've got the Rising Storm. We're working through that.
I'm really enjoying the book, though. I'm only halfway through, but I'm really, really enjoying it. Marchion Ro, I think, was a super cool character in Light of the Jedi, but he got so dope in like the last couple of chapters.
Yeah.
And I think that momentum is carried to where he's like less of a figurehead and more of somebody who's got like big plans and ways to compensate for like physical or any other kind of weakness, where he's got one of his right hands who's like a Doatan, just like a freaking huge, so he's not going to beat him physically, but he has ways to like compensate for that. So I think it's cool that they have kind of this in-game boss character, and I love him, I think, more than I've loved any villain since I read Thrawn for the first time.
Nice.
So I'm just really, really excited where they're taking him.
My God. Yeah.
I think he's a super cool character.
I also like his voice.
Yeah, dude, I freaking love it.
The audiobook.
I love Marchion Ro.
Dude, everything sounds like he's the crippled guy from the freaking what's that freaking show, dude? Oh my God. God, the one Breaking Bad guy is the dad.
Oh my God.
Malcolm in the Middle.
Oh, Malcolm in the Middle. Yeah.
The kid he's in a wheelchair, right?
His name's Stevie, yeah. Stevie's way worse, bro. He just sounds like maybe he's got like laryngitis.
Entire galaxy. No, but he's super cool.
I'm freaking here for it. I think it's a really cool voice.
There's a lot of really cool stuff that we'll unpack once we get there. I don't want to unpack a few things a week and then have nothing to unpack when we're done.
Yeah. So, I think the cool thing though is that when you have a voice actor who's really prominent, so you've got Mark Thompson, right? And he does a lot of the voices. And so when it comes to like B and C role characters, a lot of the time they'll have kind of almost the same voice, but I think it's really, really cool that he pulled a new one out of the hat for Marchion. I think that's very cool.
Yeah, Marchion's a very cool character. I really want to know
I would like to see some concept art of him without the helmet.
Yes.
Because his physical description is really unique. I would like to see it. It almost makes me think of the Grisk is what it makes me think of, because they've got gray skin and he's got like really deep black eyes.
Yeah. Yeah, he sounds like an Alfar. From another book.
That's a deep cut. Let's talk about an entirely different universe for a second.
But I do feel like Marchion's plans go deeper than denial.
Yeah.
They're definitely.
Yeah, no, I think he's freaking sick. And he seems to be. I mean, you're further. Sorry, do you want to talk?
No, I was just saying. I keep there's things I keep wanting to say that I don't want to give it away to you or to the viewer.
Right. Well, it's like I'm like halfway through the book at this point, and he's like really kind of walking the line for somebody who's not really force sensitive, kind of messing with those sorts of things, it seems like. So I'm just interested to see where they kind of take that storyline.
Yeah, it's a very interesting concept. Some things that he's doing.
Don't ruin it for me. I'll never forgive you.
Yeah.
Did I ever tell you about that time that I accidentally ruined Han's death for somebody who hasn't seen the Force Awakens?
Well, how long after the movie came out did you say it?
It was like in January.
Oh,
of this year?
No. January after it came out.
Oh, okay.
Oh, dang. Okay.
But we went like we had all of Christmas break, right? And so we went like as a group to go see The Force Awakens in theaters at the big theater that I took you guys to when you came to visit me. And he was like, I haven't seen this movie yet, but he's kind of a big Star Wars fan. So I was like, oh, okay. I was like, Han dies, like I thought he was joking. He's like, I really haven't seen it. I was like, Han doesn't die.
Oh my God.
Oh my god.
And I was like, oh my God, I feel so bad. I thought he was joking. So I was like, oh yeah,
Dude,
let me ruin it for
never
you.
forgive when I was at the time when we went and saw it back in 2015. I was a youth pastor, and this kid texted me, Han Solo is betrayed and murdered by his son, Kylo Ren, before the movie started.
Yeah.
And that's when I knew that kid was going to hell. No, but I'm kidding. So actually today we were going to speculate a little bit about upcoming projects. So it's July and it's mid-July, so it's we're real close to August. So we've got, let's just say we're in August. So the month of August, September, October, November, and then we don't know when in December of 2021, but let's just say 5 months. We've got five and a half months maybe until Book of Boba Fett comes out. And so man, there's a lot of stuff.
That's a lot.
As stoked as I am for that, dude, I am so hyped for Kenobi.
100%.
Oh, definitely. Well, that's the thing is that
well, it's like you and I are kind of opposites on that, right? Because Kenobi's my all-time favorite character and Boba Fett's yours.
Correct.
So you've got content that you're gonna like for your whole life be excited about. I've got content that I'm for my whole life been excited about.
Right.
So it's very exciting either way.
One of the reasons that I wouldn't say, man, I don't know. I don't think I'm more excited for Boba Fett than I am Kenobi, but I will say one of the reasons that I feel like it's more overdue is that we have like 6 movies of Obi-Wan content already, and we're finally gonna get what Boba Fett is due.
Not enough.
He's finally gonna get the right treatment, hopefully. And so, dude, and then Robert Rodriguez who directed The Tragedy, which was Boba Fett's like triumphant return when he gets his armor back and he's just murking everybody. And he said, all killer, no filler. That's how he described the Book of Boba Fett.
Hey, I'm here for it, man. I think one of the biggest crimes that Lucasfilm has committed in my mind was the D Squad arc, which I know is George's favorite arc, and I don't understand it. But it's like such filler to me compared to like some of the other like really strong arcs. So I'm excited for the concept of a show that has like no filler.
Yeah. Well, Tamura Morrison said that he filmed 7 months.
He was really hype about it.
Yeah.
It's 7 months.
7 months.
Jeez.
7 months of film. And he deserves, the credit too, because he played Django and then just laid low and was like the best. He's very much in that same stratosphere as Ray Park of like fan favorite, but also so kind to the fans. Like, you know what I mean? Like there's actors, especially for things like this, Star Wars and Marvel and things like that are kind of in that genre where for those fans, you're that character.
Right.
If that's what you signed up for or not. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, I think that's one of the coolest things about Ewan McGregor is he like leans all the way into it. Even, I mean, like he was like a very prominent character as well. But like watching Long Way Round when he's on that, he's just on a chill trip with his buddy, ride motorcycles across the whole planet.
Right.
And then he plans in that trip like to go to a hospital in Russia to like raise money for a children's hospital, like is showing up as Obi-Wan. That's freaking sick. That's so cool.
Yeah. And so it's kind of the same thing is that like he just really like dove into that and he's just been that guy. And so it's cool to see him get his chance again. I really, really would love to see in the Kenobi series if they it's funny, I was telling you guys the other day, now that I've seen some clips of Revenge of the Sith in animation style from the beginning of Bad Batch, and now that I've seen it's fan art, but it's like photo real versions of some of the characters from Bad Batch.
Right.
I told y'all I just want them to make all the live action stuff into animation and all the animation stuff into live action.
That's funny.
So when the Kenobi series was first announced, I was like, well, they've kind of got to include the Maul thing, right? And I was thinking, is that like a waste of an episode or a waste of 15, 20 minutes of this series? It's a limited series. Is this a waste to have the showdown with Maul if we've already seen it? And the closer we get, the more I'm like, it's not a waste. I need this. So we'll see. I hope that they let I hope that they let Ray Park do it. That'd be sick.
I think it'd be dope if they did the same thing they did for Solo, where they had Ray Park do the mocap and they had Sam Witwer do the voice.
Yeah, that'll be raw.
I think that was really inventive. I think it was very cool especially because it was leaning so much into the Maul of the Clone Wars, that they would have that voice rather than the voice of the Phantom Menace.
Right.
I think it was just a really nice touch.
Well, I don't even think I think Ray Park didn't even do the voice for the Phantom Menace. He was there, but all the speaking is, I can't remember his name. It's a different guy though.
Is it really?
I didn't know that for years and years and years, but it is, yeah.
Hmm.
Okay, so for Book of Boba Fett, the thing that I've heard around the interwebs is that they're revamping kind of on the down low to start Mando season 3, but that once they start filming here pretty soon, it's going to be like all gas, no brakes, and they're supposedly they're supposed to air Mandalorian season 3 spring of 22. So I don't know if spring means May, you know what I mean?
Hoping it's March.
Right.
How crazy would that be, huh?
Yeah. What direction do you think they're going to go with it?
It's hard to know.
Because so much of the show has been, Mando taking Grogu, wherever he belongs, and now they're kind of separated for the first time.
I think we're going to see the liberation of Mandalore.
Do you think so?
That's the whenever we first were like, can they bring in Boba Fett? No, that's too much. That's too big. Hey,
yeah.
Bring in Ahsoka? No, it's too big. Can they bring Luke Skywalker? No, it's too big.
Yeah.
I refuse to believe anything. I think that, man, if they want to try and time travel back with the Avengers and stop Thanos, is there, they're going to do it. There's no journey too big for Din Djarin at this point.
Well, and I don't think that's even the thing. I just think that in my mind, it's not even the size of whatever narrative they're going to want to tell. It's just going to be that this is going to be very divergent from what we've had to date, because the main character may not be the main. I mean, it was all about Mando, right? But then it was so much about Baby Yoda, and everything that Mando did was kind of directed by whatever, Grogu was kind of had a leading of the Force, or he's following leads, just in contacts and different individuals. And so he's kind of passed that torch along. So we're going to kind of see who I think we're going to see who he's found that he is after that journey.
Well, that was my thought too, is you have 2 full seasons of him taking this child wherever he needs to go. Finally, he gets there, like you said. But then now he's on his own. He's back to being by himself, or if he picks up another hitchhiker or whatever the case is. But yeah, now we're back to just himself. What's going to happen? So is it the whole Mandalore thing? Is it more stuff with Boba Fett? I mean, it's endless.
I could 100% get down with like Starsky and Hutch, Boba and Mando style, just these 2 freaking bad to the bone characters.
I totally think that would happen.
When they walk in trying to talk to Bo-Katan, and he's like, "We don't need these." I was like, "Yeah, freak those girls."
I think that would happen if there wasn't already the Book of Boba Fett series.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Betrayed by the country they love. Yeah, I think that would be cool. And
one man.
And who knows, like, the thing is, he's got the freaking spear, he's got the dark saber, he's
set, dude.
He's freaking full Beskar armor. Like,
he's basically Mandalore at this point, dude.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that has to be the thing. That has to be the next thing. And in Legends, Boba Fett became Mandalore, but it was not now that there's this other character that it makes more sense. And the storyline has changed. The storyline used to be whoever was Mandalore at their, on their deathbed, they would name their heir.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what happened with Boba Fett, but that's not.
Yeah, the narrative's kind of changed here, and especially like even the idea of what it means to be a Mandalorian. You know what I mean? That's changed so much.
Yeah.
Sure.
And it seems like kind of the idea of the philosophy of Star Wars in general has changed. So I'm like halfway through comic number 6, and there was the scientist that had the question, is Gear not suffering from anything physical or even metaphysical? Is it possible that he's just had a crisis of faith? that led him to kind of like his severance of connection with the Force.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, and that's like a brand new idea that like lack of belief in the Force could cut you off from it, even if you're, midi-chlorian positive. So it's a lot of interesting ideas being introduced right now.
A lot different concepts that are going out about the Force and Mandalore and all that stuff. Man, I really wish that they would pull in Karen Travis to talk about, dude, I'll tell you this, nobody before
she gets inside the head of the clones really well.
Yeah, nobody, not anyone. Before the Mandalorian was a thing, nobody broke down not just the clones, but Mandalorian culture like Karen Travis. Nobody. And so it would be really cool if she got to just at least, I don't know. It would be cool if she got to contribute. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
That'd be sick. Because man, the teams for those things are so broad and so huge.
Sure.
You could just be a consultant. Hey, for 3 hours, we sat down with Karen Travis and got in her head about what the Mandalorian culture is about.
Yeah.
Make my day.
Why the frick not at this point, honestly?
Right.
You know what? I was just talking the other day and didn't realize this, but apparently Cassian's show is coming out before Kenobi. And there's not a specific timetable for either of them, but that Andor will come first.
I'm like,
which means Ahsoka is after Kenobi, which means it's like far future.
I'm like -3 hype for Andor.
I don't know what to expect.
Same.
Cassian is not an inspiring character.
I mean, like, I like him in the movie, right? In Rogue One.
So I was like, what are you doing here?
What's the point?
Yeah. Watching Wallace and Wallace. Like, if Grummet's not there, what are we even watching the show for?
I mean, for real though. Yeah, I don't know. Is it just, I guess it's going to be like his backstory? Well, I mean, we know when he dies.
Right.
Yeah, he's a spy for the rebellion. So I'm sure we'll get the background treatment. The one cool thing is, we've talked about it before, but supposedly Cassian's life begins with him as a separatist against the Republic. Like, he grew up a separatist. And so it would be kind of cool to see that side of things. I always love stories that I don't need to like, I don't care if we get the background of like why Sauron is bad or why he's justified. Like, I know that that's like, that's kind of the thing right now is like, help justify the villain. I don't care about that, but I just want to see, it would be cool to see things from the other side. Like, remember we watched Clone Wars and
Dirty Hands Dooku.
It was Dirty Hands Dooku, and
I watched that episode recently, like on my own time, and she's like, I sense Dooku's dirty hands, and I was like,
yeah,
you and me both, sister.
It was just I wasn't like moved by their point of view, but it would be cool to see like an average human being going through life and being like, this is the
right
the Republic needs to be taken care of.
Here's my one beef with that is they tried to do that with the sisters in the Clone Wars, and then they dragged them into Bad Batch, and I hate them.
Yeah, but Cassian's different.
I hate them.
Cassian's
like, I feel about them like Kevin Malone feels about bald people. I hate them.
Oh, that's funny. Dude, I can't remember their names, honestly.
I can't either. That's how much I hate them. I never cared to learn their name. There's like 5 episodes of content that they're in. Hate them.
You ever feel like, there's two sides to the Star Wars fandom where there's like the people who are like, episode doesn't even exist in my head. That's not canon to me. And
yeah, I mean, it's canon to me, but I hate it.
Right. No, I know. But I'm saying there's those people. But then there's this other side, which are kind of like Star Wars apologists that are like, all Star Wars is good, which is closer to where I'm at.
Yeah.
But I think that sometimes it gets so far down that side of things that even when things are admittedly not great, they're like, people will be rude about, I guess you're not a fan if you don't like those sisters. And I'm like, I don't like them. That's just how I do it. And
I talk to people, especially because people are like just getting to know me where I'm at in work and life. But my reputation of being a Star Wars lover precedes me a little bit. And so what's your favorite Star Wars movie? I'm like, Revenge of the Sith. Next question. And they're like, that's not the best Star Wars movie. I was like, yeah, that's not what you freaking asked me. Ask me which one's my favorite. And so it's like,
Also, I welcome your arguments.
I genuinely love the prequels. So I'm not the kind of person that's just going to hate on Star Wars because it's popular, because that's like the least popular opinion in the world to have right now.
Yeah.
But
I just think it's dumb that people are like, well, that's not the best one. I welcome your average plebeian argument about which one you think is best.
Yes, join me amongst the bourgeoisie and we'll have a heightened discussion about what the best Star Wars film is.
Please test me in my hoard of Star Wars products in my house that I frequently argue with my wife about, in my 100 Audible audiobooks, and my 4 credits that I bought extra so I can have plenty to just shell out anytime a Star Wars book comes online. Please argue with me about Star Wars right now.
Yeah, but my point is, I'm not a person who hates Star Wars because it's popular, and I'm not a person who loves Star Wars because I'm contrarian. I just hate those sisters. Can't stand them.
Yeah. It's
hate them to death. If I could go into Star Wars just to do one thing, I'd kill them both.
Oh my God.
If I was in a room with those sisters and Hitler, and I had a gun with 4 bullets in it, I'd shoot each of those sisters twice.
Oh my God. Okay, so one thing that is kind of in the far future as far as Star Wars projects, but probably the thing that tickled my fancy the most when we did the whole
why did you do this? That's so rapey.
That's my fancy getting tickled. Yeah.
The thing that diddled my fancy the most.
The one that twisted my fancies the most. The one that flicked my fancy was obviously, I'm sure, I think you agree, was the Acolyte.
Yes.
And so
I feel about the prospect of the Acolyte the opposite of how I feel about those sisters.
You love it.
I love it so much.
If I could do one thing in Star Wars, I would not kill the Acolyte.
So join him.
The director or producer, I want to say the director of the Acolyte, said that her first exposure to Star Wars and like the thing that she loves the most about Star Wars is the Phantom Menace, which I was like, you have a fan. I am listening. But she said she's taking that, I don't know what she means by this, but she says she's taking that mindset into the Acolyte.
I love that so much.
I'm wondering what that means.
I think you have.
What, dude? What
if it's just a bunch of like kid Anakin?
What if?
And he's just going around like asking people questions, and they're like, "No," and he's like, "I think you have," and that's the whole show.
Yeah, I think you have Galite.
Yes.
So what do you think that means? Like, what if you're a director and you're thinking, I'm taking the Phantom Menace into a Star Wars series about an upcoming Sith character? What does that mean? It can't be Darth Maul, because you want to do something new and fresh.
Yeah, I think that if I had to interpret that statement, I think the thing that TPM has that's unique is the kind of balance of exploration of the Force, because there were a lot of things introduced in that film that were hitherto unknown. And it also has a pretty strong influence of the political aspect as well. Which if you've read Plagueis, you would know, and I know that you have, but that's a really strong theme in kind of the cultivation of the Call of the Dark Side, which is like the political machinations that kind of fuel the ambitions of the dark side, right? That it's not just like you're super powerful, it's that you're powerful and you have influence. I think that's kind of a unique theme that goes throughout the Phantom Menace.
Hey, so I got an idea.
Okay.
Prophecy.
Mm-hmm.
So it says Leslie Headland will write, executive produce, and serve as a series showrunner. The show will focus on the emergence of dark side powers in the final days of the High Republic era.
Sounds very Plagueis to me.
What are the chances that Marchion Ro is Plagueis?
0%.
All right. We'll see.
I just know that I don't know. Honestly, it depends on how much of what's in Plagueis they want to keep, right? Because we don't even know at this point if
Sorry, go ahead.
we don't even know at this point if Plagueis is even immune anymore. You know what I mean?
Right.
Or if Tenebris is even a Bith. If that's the case, I think it very
exists.
Yeah, right. So, but like what I'm saying is, if that is the case, if they want to keep those things in line, then it's very viable that this could be a Tenebris taking on Plagueis sort of thing, because both of those species live 5 ever.
Also, my real question, I was joking about if Marchion Rose Plagueis, but I do wonder if Marchion could show up, tie stuff in.
I think it's going to be more along the lines of the Drengir. The Nihil are very much they're not that kind of threat. You know what I mean? They're much more of a naturalist threat. Huh?
Yeah. Trust me, you're not that kind of guy.
You're not that kind of guy. You're not that guy. But I think that the Drengir are a very unknown kind of using the Force, but we don't know how
Finish
kind
the
of threat.
Comic reading. Finish the comic you're reading, and then we'll talk.
I've gotten to the place where they're in like the Nether.
Yeah. The very last page.
But you know what I mean? It's kind of like that's the unknown.
Yeah.
And
I don't mean the Nihil necessarily, because I totally believe that Marchion Ro wants the Nihil because they're a big group of people that'll do what he says.
Yeah, that they're a means to an end for him.
Yeah, so that's what I'm wondering. It would be cool just as a tie-in, even if it's just in passing, even if it's just like Ichuta and it's Marchion Ro. I don't care.
I could very much see him, however, pairing with the Sith Initiative, especially if the Drengir become a threat to him personally, because we know from Into the Dark that the Sith were basically the ones who kind of worked to imprison the Drengir to begin with.
Correct.
So it's
I'm wondering,
very up in the air right now. Dude, I would love to see Marchion Ro on screen, though. I'd love that.
Yeah, that'd be sick. I would love, you know what I would love? I would love a visual dictionary for the High Republic, because there's a lot of animal species and things that they're introducing that are very cool sounding, but there's and even like characters. There's like characters of this thing. Like there's the Archivist for the Jedi Temple, and he's like a freaking Jello.
Yeah, he's like it's like Flubber almost. He's wearing like a spacesuit.
Yeah, exactly. So I'd love to see that species.
Yeah, there's a lot of really cool. I just love how inventive it's gotten. You know what I mean? That it like when I first got into Star Wars, everything, it's like when you play a video game for the first time and you open up like the icons menu and everything looks so strange, and it looks, or like I remember the first time I was playing Red Dead, like the map was so big, you know what I mean? And there's so much to, and that's what Star Wars was for me. You know, there were like all these species I didn't know and all these characters I didn't know. And I've kind of gotten really familiar with, you know, like I'm reading Star Wars and somebody's a Shagri and I know exactly what that person looks like, but now they're coming up with new things that are inventive and it's just a little outside the box. I freaking love it. I'm really enjoying it. What's up?
Remind me what a Chagrian looks like.
That SOB that works with Palpatine, what's his name? The blue guy with the 4 horns. Yeah. Masamita. Yeah, that guy can eat a nut. Freaking hate that guy.
Hey, you know that girl, the one that's on the other side that's always like real pale looking and she's like this?
Yeah.
Sly Moore. She is a part of okay, so War of the Bounty Hunters. Remember that comics book that I was telling you was coming out?
Mm-hmm.
So it turns out it's like a cross-platform thing, and I've read about 15 comic books so far that tie into the story, from like the Darth Vader line, the Star Wars line, the Bounty Hunters line, the this. Mm-hmm. And Sly Moore is part of like this dark council that wants to overthrow Vader and then the Emperor. And so yeah, she's definitely gonna die in the next, probably what's today, Monday. She'll die in 2 days when I get the new comic.
That's funny, man.
Sorry. Okay, so High Republic, not going into the book in depth just yet, but of the characters that are like the main characters between Bell, Elzar, and what's the other homeboy's name? Stellan. Who's your
Stellan
favorite?
Gios. I'm Elzar man all the way. I think he is. I just think he's a really cool character, and he's very out of place for his time.
Yeah.
He's to me, he's like the Qui-Gon Jinn of the High Republic. He's the one that's trying to probe the Force and see how it exists outside of the typical bounds, the way that the Jedi would see it.
I think that he's a younger, less wise Qui-Gon.
Yeah, I don't think he's
But
as
very
naturally
powerful.
wise as Qui-Gon,
Very
but
more powerful than Qui-Gon.
he's incredibly powerful, and I think he has good instincts. You know what I mean? Like it's like he follows the flow of the Force a little bit more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Avar's on a whole nother level to him too, as far as a Kirk.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's also one of the coolest things about the High Republic is them talking about the distinct ways that each of the Jedi perceive and interact with the Force. That's like a unique relationship that they each have. That's freaking cool to me.
You know what's cool, but that I'm kind of waiting on is, I guess we won't know until we're getting close. Like, okay, where's the story going, and what's the overall like? Where's the story going to end?
Mm-hmm.
That's why I wonder if like, is the Acolyte going to tie in and be like the last High Republic tie-in?
Yeah,
That thing that would be cool, like an on-screen thing that kind of brings everything else to life. It would be sick if we got to see like the Drain gear on screen.
that would be freaking cool. Mainly because it's so hard to really envision them in still animation. You know what I mean?
Hear them say meat on screen. Meat.
Yeah.
Meat. I know
when are we gonna have some meat? What
Yeah,
if that's what they sound like?
Yeah, in my head they sound like orcs. Meat. So,
yeah, but what if they sound like the little orc instead of sounding like one of the Urukai? When are we gonna have some meat?
What about his legs?
Fresh meat.
Meat special meat, boys. So that would be cool. But dude, the thing that I keep waiting on that I'm like, come on, you know, like Mr. Incredible is every once in a while Yoda gets teased and everybody's like, you know who's crazy and powerful as freak? Yoda. But anyways, and then they what they're doing. There's something later in the book, you're not there yet, but there's something later where, you know, there's some kind of conflict or whatever. And they were like, if only Master Yoda were here, if we were so lucky. But another day, they're going. And I was like,
oh no. Anyway.
Yeah, I thought he was going to come in and do the whole Wild Wild West host.
Yeah, I don't think they'll do it, man. I think they're going to take the opportunity to hint at him and, you know, give him a little bit of mystique, but I think he's too much. I think he's too highlighted in regular Star Wars for it to have any place here.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, Obi-Wan's highlighted in Star Wars more than Yoda is. He's getting his own show, so I think it would be cool. I totally agree. I think that they need to stay away from him for now, but I think it would be cool in that, almost like the way that Vader is in Rogue One. It would be sick if at the very end he shows up and kind of shows out a little bit.
Yeah, that'd be freaking sick. I'm here for it.
I'm trying to think of how far away you are if you've encountered something yet, but I'll ask you.
Don't risk it. I don't want to know.
Risk it.
Any final thoughts, though?
Okay, let me see. Okay, a character that you want to see in each of the upcoming shows, and they can't be overlap. It can't be like, I'd also like to see this character in this show. So a character from The Acolyte, Cassian, Obi-Wan, Book of Boba Fett, Mandalorian season 3. Rapid fire. And then you go next and I'll go last.
Acolyte, I want to see Plagueis. Kenobi, Hayden Christensen's already confirmed, but I'm really excited to see how that plays out.
Okay.
Book of Boba Fett, I don't really know what direction they're going to take it. So I don't really have any expectations as far as what I would like to see. I'm here for the kind of Boba Fett that was displayed during Mando.
Yep.
What was the next one?
So
Cassian.
Ahsoka and Cassian.
Ahsoka, obviously
And Mando
Thrawn,
season 3.
and Mando season 3.
Yeah.
Mando season 3, if we get any more Luke Skywalker, I'm all the way here for it. And Cassian, I think it would be, well, that's not going to happen because it's early Rebellion. I was thinking it'd be cool to see some more young Solo, but I don't know. I'm trying to think of like cool, influential people that are early Rebellion. Mon Mothma's there. I would like to see her done really well.
You know who you might see is Krennic or Tarkin.
Ooh, I would like some Tarkin.
Can I say Tarkin, please? Okay, so for Cassian, I'll say
I could do some
Tarkin.
Yeah.
That's the guy that I'd like to see. Him or Krennic, I'd be happy. I like Krennic. A lot of people don't like Krennic, but I like him. Crosshair would be someone that I would like to see in Cassian. If he doesn't die in Bad Batch. Okay, Kenobi, I would love to see Darth Maul. Or let's see, who's someone else. If I could see in Kenobi, if I could see Asherad Het, I would be happy. But we'll see. It's a long toss, but
it'll never happen, man.
I said crazier things before they've happened. So, all right, Mandalorian season 3.
Hey, you know who you should want to see in Book of Boba Fett? You know who?
Who?
Kudar Mubat.
Good Dharma, but let's see. Okay,
It's so fun to say.
Darth Maul would be cool. Or Asherad Het. Mandalorian season 3. Omega would be interesting. I don't think she will, but she'd be cool.
That would be cool.
Um,
It'd be a very cool crossover.
maybe I want to see like maybe like Chewbacca or something like that.
Dude, Grown Omega would be like what what's her name with the spray paint? The chick that's always spray painting her armor.
Oh, Sabine?
Yeah, she would be like what Sabine is supposed to be ideally.
Yeah, correct.
That'd be sick. I'd be all the way here for it.
Let's see. Yeah, I mean, I guess you could probably see Sabine in later seasons of Mandalorian.
No thanks.
Okay.
It's supposed to be rapid fire, bro.
What have I can't remember what I've said and what I haven't said. Ahsoka is obviously Thrawn. Book of Boba Fett, I would love to see Bosk or Dirge or Cad Bane.
Ooh. Give me some more Cad Bane, please.
I can almost guarantee we're going to see Bosk because we're going back in time.
It's a nice hat.
It's a nice hat. My dream would be to see Boba Fett kill Cad Bane in live action, or to see Boba Fett working with Darth Vader. Like some of the time.
Bane's supposed to already be dead by that point, no?
Yeah, but the show's going to go back in time. The show's going to it's going to be a highlight reel for however many weeks we get to ride the wave of the legend of Boba Fett. It's the book. It's not, I think that so far we've been thinking, oh, it's from the end of Mandalorian season 2 on. We'll see some of that, but I think we'll hear the tales.
Okay. Do you have any more left?
The Gospels.
Did you hit them all?
Did I hit them all?
Did you say Acolyte?
Oh, okay. Acolyte is Plagueis, obviously.
Plagueis.
Obviously. All right, Adam.
Not to be that guy that says you took all my answers, but Plagueis for Acolyte.
You're gonna be that guy in a group discussion, be like, to piggyback off of what Josiah said.
Y'all,
Right.
I'll say if I can see the Dringear or if I can see Marcion Rowe live action for the Acolyte would be cool. I'm not saying
I'm getting chills just thinking about it.
but that would be sick.
What if they got Mark Thompson to do the voice?
That would be excellent.
I'd be here for it. I'd be all the way here for it.
Ride the storm.
What were we talking about?
So we said Acolyte.
Acolyte was Plagueis for sure.
Ahsoka.
I'm kind of in between you guys. I know Samuel doesn't really care for Ahsoka that much. I do, but I don't. So I don't mind. I actually want to see Ahsoka a little bit more. She was kind of annoying in Clone Wars, but at the same time, I like what they did in Mandalore with her.
I don't dislike her. I think she's overhyped.
I can agree with that,
Hey,
but I still want to see more of her.
What if we got to go back in time and see a little Plo Koon action with Ahsoka?
Ooh.
That would be sick.
That could be good.
I freaking love Plo Koon.
I would love for Ahsoka
Not for me.
to visit the world between worlds and maybe see some action in there.
I'd be here for that.
Ezra's going to show up.
That's kind of what I was thinking was like Ezra and Thrawn. I would if that happens.
I want for Thrawn and Ezra to be best friends.
I want for Thrawn to eviscerate Ezra and his stupid staple gun lightsaber.
What other shows? Cassian.
I really don't have a lot to be hyped for other than the possibility of Tarkin.
Right. That's kind of where I'm at.
If I got to see Tarkin do hand-to-hand combat, I would do unspeakable things.
Nice. Book of Boba Fett. My biggest thing with Book of Boba Fett is when they, maybe not necessarily a character, although when we talked about Omega and them, I don't know. That's a possibility. That would be sick. But I want to see how they're going to do this. They said that this is going to be gritty and dirty and stuff like that. Like it's going to be a little bit more above the normal Star Wars level. So I don't know. Is
it directed by Quentin Tarantino? Perhaps?
That's what I'm thinking. Like Quentin Tarantino or Zack Snyder, just something over the top, blood and gore. You know, I don't know.
Sick. Okay, Kenobi.
Darth Maul. Like I mean,
Darth Maul would be.
I would love to see Darth Maul for sure.
I'm not afraid to be out there with the far-fetched desires. What's is Darth Krayt asking too much?
I think at this point maybe so, because I don't think he even officially exists anymore.
One that's more realistic. Okay. I would love for another Jedi who is in exile, one Quinlan Voss, to Tatooine, which he already knows about because he's been there before.
I would love to see that. I'd love to see that. I love everything that he does. And it would be cool to see him have a little bit of a redemption there, because he kind of leaves on really bad terms with the Jedi.
Well, Obi-Wan does a great job of hiding, but if anybody like Quinlan Voss's abilities, he's absolute beast at tracking,
like handcrafted.
Right.
Like if there is someone who will find him, it would be Quinlan Voss. There's like he would be like hand-picked to find Kenobi. It's literally what he did for the Jedi.
So do you think that we see Vader hunting Obi-Wan? I really don't want them to do the whole thing where it's like, how we've always assumed that's the last time they saw each other was on Mustafar.
I don't think that's going to happen because Ben's in one place, so it's going to be a very unentertaining game of cat and mouse, because Ben's never going to leave the homestead,
right?
And it's just going to be Vader like, back to the drawing board, like, check another planet, I guess.
It'd be cool. Well, it would be cool if he was just going from place to place, and Vader was like a side character that you followed as he was hunting Ben before he just gives up, something like that.
Yeah, I would love to see some Vader. I would love to see more of the relationship between Hayden Christensen and Ewan McGregor on screen. I loved the kind of display of brotherly affection that we got.
My question was, are they doing flashbacks with him, or is he supposed to be Vader?
We don't know.
Okay. So
officially, we don't know.
It doesn't make sense to me to bring in Hayden Christensen
to do the suit.
To do suit. That doesn't make
sense. Well, and that's what I'm thinking, but at the same time, they could be doing something where the suit's off a little bit and he's in his meditation chamber and you see scarred Hayden Christensen. So it's not completely out of the realm of possibility, but I would prefer to see something of a flashback and interaction.
Yeah, I could dig that.
Definitely. For sure. Or dreams.
Yeah.
something like that.
Visions.
Okay, I'll give you one for Kenobi, Qui-Gon Jinn.
Yeah, absolutely.
I would be
Any
happy
Qui-Gon I can
Qui-Gon
get.
Jinn than Darth Maul, personally.
I can get behind that because we've gotten a lot of extra Darth Maul. We've gotten like very little extra Qui-Gon, and I think Qui-Gon is
first person to communicate from beyond the grave because of the Force would be
he's
a game changer.
Very underrated in my opinion.
Seeing Maul show up like in Rebels would be dope, but for Qui-Gon to come back from beyond the grave, if you have a scene where you're in Ben's hut and Yoda is there via freaking some kind of crazy, like, what do you call that? What do you call it when you can travel like the astral plane, astral projection?
Astral projection.
If you can see Yoda do that, because we know that he's communicated with Obi-Wan from across the galaxy, that would be sick. And to also see like if they can make a way where like either the voice of Yoda is there or maybe he's there in like some weird form, like almost like a hologram, and then you see the Force ghost of Qui-Gon, and those three could be communicating.
It'd be sick. It'd be real sick.
To me, I'm done.
All right. Well, that's about all the time I've got for this episode.
Well, thank you guys for tuning in. This is the first time we've all three gotten to do an episode together where Adam's just not saying something from off screen that you can't hear. So that's pretty cool. And
welcome to the show.
Thank you guys for tuning in. May the Force be with you always.
And remember, the only family you have here is me.
What was that sound?
Sounded like a little cap gun from this angle.
Okay, well, it's playing off of a speaker into the microphone, so cut me some slack. I'm trying a new platform.
Can we hear it one more time? It just sounds like you guys know.
It sounds a little better on my end.
You guys know what it was. We'll see you next week.
Take care.